Have you ever heard a loud boom or trumpet sound in the sky without reasonable explanations? Is Earth just releasing gas? Is it the sound of a meteorite breaking up in the atmosphere? Or is it something more sinister than that? Today, we test the believability of Skyquakes.
Welcome to Believing the Bizarre,
Where we dive into the unknown and the unusual.
and tell you whether or not it's believable.
That is right. So, follow me here. We're going to go back in time.
Okay.
A little trip back in time. It doesn't only exist back in time, but today, that's where we're going.
Okay.
Where were you November 14th, 2017? Close to your birthday. Not close,
I would
but
guess in our apartment.
2017? This is 3 years ago.
No, shit. In my basement.
Okay.
Probably drunk in my basement.
There you go.
Yeah.
At 1:45 p.m.,
Wait,
you
3
drunk?
3 years ago, I was with Stephanie. I
Yeah, you've been with her for a
I
while.
was very sober in my basement.
I was reading a novel.
I don't know.
Okay, well, what wasn't happening here at 1:45, November 14th, 2017, was a loud and startling boom. But where was happening was Alabama.
That's south.
It is south. Good job. Good job. You've been to Alabama. So, residents of 15 different Alabama counties reported this loud boom.
15?
15 counties, not like 15 cities or 15 people. 15 counties.
15 counties?
Now, maybe they have really small-ass counties over
No,
there in
it's
Alabama.
a big state.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I say yeah like I knew. I didn't know. But, even some people were calling 911. Like, it was getting serious. They were like, something is wrong. It got to the point that Birmingham's National Weather Service had a tweet about it. They said, loud booms heard. We do not see anything indicating a large fire smoke on the radar or satellite. Nothing indicating an earthquake. We don't have an answer, and we can only hypothesize with you. 1, a sonic boom from an aircraft. 2, a meteorite with a current Leonid shower. That must have been a meteor shower at that time. I'm not familiar. Maybe I knew it then. I don't know it now.
Okay.
2017, that was the year with the eclipse. Where you got the glasses, the special glasses. Yeah, I believe that was 2017. I believe that was like August, too.
It's August 21st, 2017, the day of the total solar eclipse.
Which is kind of crazy.
That's nuts.
Oh, that doesn't make sense. I was going to say, like, it just barely scraped the sun, the moon, and it just made a loud boom. It's like when you bump knees. The sun was like, ow. But to us, it was like, boom.
There's many miles apart. Yeah.
They got long legs. So, what did they hear? What could have actually happened? And the theory is, as you probably guessed from the name of this episode, Skyquakes.
I think you just nailed it. That the sun and the moon just brushed
They bumped knees?
Yeah.
And ever so slightly, the sun went, ouch.
Yeah.
But to us, it was like, it's when you turn volume to 11, as they say. While not all Skyquakes might be real, because, people like creating. They want to be part of the thing, so they want to fake it and put it out there and say, ooh, look, I heard this. There's a website called strangesounds.org. It's real.
Okay.
It's out there. They chronicle incidents, but they actually compiled a list of like 150 or more videos of just audible weirdness. And they've been described in various ways. Some people say it sounds like a boom.
What's that? Wow. I think they're rumbling.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Is it coming from over there? Up there where that light is? Well, freaky, look. That light. In the sky.
Some people say it's the blare of a trumpet.
Give me my phone real quick. Dude,
Some people claim it's the groaning, like a metallic sound. Some people say it sounds like an airplane engine. Some people say it sounds like thunder. Loud rumbling. Even humming. Basically, it is just an incredibly loud shockwave of sound. It can vibrate buildings, windows, but it's just seemingly coming from the sky. And it doesn't necessarily mean there's a storm. There can be blue skies. It doesn't have to be a cloud. Like you kind of mentioned, this is hinting at something that was talked about. Well, you can kind of say your theory now if you want. You told me before.
Okay. Well, you asked me, like, what if you heard like a boom in the distance? I would assume, even though I couldn't see storm clouds, I'd assume many miles away there was a thunderclap.
Right. But now I said 15 counties, so now you feel like a dumbass.
15 counties is insane. That's nuts.
Yeah, so you were very wrong. I hope you feel ashamed.
Well, I don't, but I understand what you're saying.
So here's what's interesting. My example to lead off the episode was Alabama. It is not secluded to Alabama, because if it was, I probably wouldn't believe it.
It's not just an Alabama thing.
I don't believe them Alabamers.
Roll Tide.
Unless you're listening to Alabama, then I love you.
Right.
And you're always correct.
Yeah. Roll Tide?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I think, is that Texas?
No, that's definitely Alabama.
Cut that, please. So here's what's interesting. It's kind of like, have you ever heard somebody try and make a urban legend sound credible because different areas have the same stories? Let's say we're talking about skinwalkers.
Sure.
For fun, we're talking about skinwalkers, and you're like, I don't believe it, because somebody in Ohio might have just made it up, and you're like, well, it's in Navajo legend, it's in Eastern European legend, it's in South American legend. I'm making this up. Like, I don't think that's true. It is Navajo.
Right. I understand what you're saying, though.
I'm saying, like, it's a little bit credible when different parts of the world have their own stories about it.
Yes, like ghosts. Every culture has stories about ghosts.
Skyquakes have names in different areas. It's reported around the world. In Bangladesh, I'm going to butcher all of this.
Okay.
If you want to hit that 15-second button, more power to you. In Bangladesh, they're called Barisal guns, which they say is referring to the Barisal region of East Bengal. Now, the only Bengals I know are from Cincinnati. But apparently they have one in Bangladesh as well. Italians call it Balsa, Brantiti, Lagoni, and Marine.
You put no music in that. Battini. I'm Italian. It's okay.
You can. I can't make that joke. I'm Hungarian, so.
Battini.
Japanese call it Unamari, which I guess it means cries from the sea, which is interesting, and I haven't got to this yet, but it mostly happens in coastal regions.
Oh, really?
Alabama's close to.
Was it like southern
the
Alabama?
Panhandle.
That's the Gulf.
Where's Birmingham? Wherever Birmingham is.
Well, that's about the middle.
Well,
because it's a capital, right?
True, but I guess the state is somewhat close to.
It's by the Gulf of Mexico.
Right. Well, is it? Yeah.
It's on the Gulf of Mexico.
I will never be good at geography.
I am.
In Iran and the Philippines, they're called Ratumbos. I'm putting the most American pronunciation on that. I'm not even going to try. Well, I'll try. In Belgium and the Netherlands, they're called Mistpoffers.
I like how you almost put an accent on that.
Mistpoffers.
Mistpoffers.
And in the United States, they can be called Skyquakes. They can be called Seneca guns because they're heard near Seneca Lake in New York.
Oh, okay. I've been there.
So it has reach. There seems to be a tendency towards coastal, but it's not like one secluded area. It's not like one town's urban legend. Mm-hmm. Like, this is something heard around the world. And if you want, after the episode, if you want to taste, literally go to YouTube and type in keywords like Skyquake or type in trumpets in the sky, and you'll find videos of people walking outside, absolutely confused with just crazy noises coming from the sky. We can conclude that there's probably a handful that aren't true because people like to jump on those things.
Yeah, for sure.
But it happens. Just ride with me here. Many different cultures, many different nationalities are explaining this to be true. So let's dive into a little bit further. What is causing the noise?
Can I ask you a question really quick?
Yeah.
I don't mean to throw you off.
No.
Has it always been around? Is this a new thing?
It's not new. Like I started in 2017 because it was relatable. Because the majority of people listening to this probably existed in 2017.
I think so,
Unless
yeah.
you're a 2-year-old, in which case, thanks for listening. The mist poffers also has roots in Seneca Lake, New York. The idea of a skyquake, or when people point to it originating, it was actually Seneca Lake, where an author, James Fentimore Cooper, back in 1851, described it as a sound resembling the explosion of a heavy piece of artillery that can be accounted for by none of the known laws of nature.
Okay.
So 1800s, mid 1800s,
Gotcha.
In Seneca Lake. So that's kind of why that has so much relevance here. Do you have any other questions?
I'm sorry, no, I don't.
Right. So what could be causing the noise? Now I'm gonna front load this by saying that there's no like the scientists of the world, the people of the world, Twitter has not come together and said this is what's causing it. So it's going to be another conglomerate of ideas and theories.
Okay.
So you can tell me which ones you like best.
All right, I can't wait.
So Snopes, right? Everybody trusts Snopes. Snopes lets you know when shit's not right.
Yeah.
Shit ain't right. Snopes gonna tell you. So Snopes says that scientists point to natural causes, right? Because, that's...
What does that mean, though?
What could it be? Well, I'll tell you. Could be tidal waves, because it's coastal. Remember, coastal. Earthquakes, which kind of also makes sense, because I feel like, I don't know why, but like coastal places, I feel like are always getting hit with tectonic plates shifting.
I can tell you why.
Tell me why.
How the plates are divided, like the coasts are usually where the plates, or they do this.
Diverge
in my father's going to light me up for this, where they collide.
Okay. I remember somebody taught me, like, based on your joints, like your wrist, like the plates. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, it's also like tsunamis, the coast with the, tectonic plates out there. Methane explosions are another thing.
Methane?
Yeah, I don't know.
Farts?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know how that comes into it. That seems kind of like a stretch. So I guess a U.S. Geological Survey scientist, which is a mouthful, David Hill, he said that small earthquakes below the surface can actually like create and transmit sounds of the Earth's crust, like breaking and crackling. It
sounds like the Earth throwing its voice.
Yeah, it's a ventriloquist, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the crust of the Earth crackling and crumbling, but yet it's coming from the sky. Now here's one. Hint. I actually kind of dig this one. Now the problem with this one is nobody claims to see anything. You hear the noise, but nobody's saying I see a fireball. But some people say that it's emissions coming from meteors crumbling in Earth's atmosphere, like burning up.
Oh.
And that, I think it's just because of the relation to the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're telling me about earthquakes and methane explosions, or like even volcanic eruptions, or things like that. It seems weird that would then jump and erect into the sky. And
that is strange.
Maybe that's something about physics that I don't understand, and I don't claim to understand. David Hill, as a U.S. Geological Survey scientist, probably understands much more about this than I do. I'm just saying, meteors in the sky, noise in the sky. So that makes sense a little bit to me. But there are other theories.
Sure.
So other theories include electrical power lines, electromagnetic radiation, wireless communication devices.
5G.
Yeah. I mean...
Goddamn, 5G.
But see here, let me
kill us again.
Let me kill this right now. I don't think they had 5G back in 1850s with my boy in Seneca Lake. I think they had like those razors back then. The LG,
I had one of those.
The LG chocolates.
The new chocolate by LG is sweeter than ever.
I think that's what they were rocking in the 1850s. They definitely did not have iPhones in the 3G.
No, they had those like flip keyboards phones.
Here's an interesting one. Underwater caves collapsing.
Oh, but again, underwater.
Right. Like, how does this work? This is where I'm asking you. I'm not giving you guys information. How does an underwater cave collapsing, or even like a tectonic plate shifting.
Yeah.
How does that... I guess the sound has to come somewhere.
You're like presenting the argument, you're like, tell me the answer. I have no idea.
Well, I guess it can't... The noise can't be underneath us. Like, you feel... I've never really experienced a true earthquake. Does it make a sound?
I don't know.
The sound, I imagine, is the buildings and everything around you. But if something underground... Because if you think about a volcanic eruption, the sound is shooting out because of the eruption.
Mm-hmm.
But if something like a tectonic plate was colliding beneath us, where would the sound come from? Would
Your face is breaking right now.
Would it come from beneath us?
I have no idea. I literally have no idea.
Because
I guess so.
it claims that the underwater caves collapsing would cause the air to rapidly rise to the surface. But then I guess that would come into us as humans. Are we able to accurately project where sound is coming from? If you hear a noise and you think it's coming from the sky, what are the chances that it's not? That's just where we're perceiving it. Now it becomes a question of perception. Did I lose you at all?
No, I'm on track with you.
Meteors. Because I kind of like this one. And I'm still in the natural shit. I haven't even gotten to what other people think.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
So, I think you would expect to see a fireball, right? Unless it's so high in the atmosphere that you can't, and it's daytime, I guess.
I don't know if you would see a fireball, actually. Because, I mean, I don't know if a million, but like hundreds of meteors burn up in the atmosphere every year, I think.
And you don't hear it.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty small, though.
Right. Our boy Hill,
yeah,
the scientist, he claims that the time required for a sonic shock wave to reach Earth's surface in the upper atmosphere, the trail of the meteor would have vanished before the sonic boom, the Skyquake, is heard. So there's a chance that you're not looking up. You would see it if you were looking up, and then you hear it.
But wouldn't somebody see it then?
That's it. Then it's a play in numbers.
Yeah.
But then I guess you're not communicating with other people. Unless you go on YouTube and you're like, I saw it.
1 out of 15 counties, I'm sure someone was looking up.
So some of the more bizarre guesses are God's trumpets.
Oh, okay.
God's up there playing the trumpet. Aliens, of course, which there's no specific theory on aliens. It's just the existence. Maybe like a camouflaged ship. Who's, they're camouflaging maybe as clouds or a sky rather than a truck with radio equipment.
I still buy it.
Okay. Also, this is interesting, and I don't know how you would be able to explain it. It kind of like it's a more abnormal tie-in to tectonic plates, right?
Okay.
Earth growing. Like the sound. Imagine Earth as an organic being.
Oh, like
everything gets bigger.
Like the planet from Avatar, not The Last Airbender.
James Cameron's.
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. They say like if you put a fish in a tank or a turtle in a tank, it only gets as big.
It grows to the tank.
Well, our planet's in the universe. It's huge. It can get as big as it wants to get. If it wants to be Jupiter, girl, you go be Jupiter.
That's not how that works.
Well, tell the people that believe that. But, okay, so here's another interesting thing, and I'll say this up front: doesn't really lend itself to things happening in the 1850s, but it's just a theory.
Okay.
Have you heard of harp? Not like the musical instrument.
You know what's funny?
Yes.
I actually have.
What do you know about harp?
Harp, it's chemtrails.
Not. It has to do with the atmosphere.
Yes.
It has to do with the atmosphere. You might have read something that ties harp to chemtrails.
I heard the last podcast about it.
Okay. So, HARP is what it stands for. HAARP, not old people. That's just AARP.
Yeah.
But you put an H in front of it, and what it stands for is High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Yes,
So
it is.
basically what it does is it's a group. It's a group that their entire scientific endeavor is to study the properties and the behavior of the ionosphere.
Wait, is it confirmed real? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's like
Is
it's
it?
a scientific operation. Like it was actually transferred to the United States Air Force at the university. It was transferred from the Air Force to the University of Alaskan Fairbanks in 2015. So not that long ago. It's real. It exists.
Okay.
That's not there. It ties into the theory, but they're not like They're not criminal.
Gotcha.
So, taking a step back, for those of you that don't remember science class, earth science class, what is the ionosphere? It is like the upper part of Earth's atmosphere, right? So it basically, the ultraviolet light and X-ray solar radiation, it ionizes atoms and the molecules, and it creates a bunch of electrons. So that it matters, but it doesn't really matter. It matters a lot. But to this discussion, what does it matter? Well, that the ionosphere is important because it affects and modifies radio transmissions. So sound.
Okay.
So what HAARP does, or is basically, the ionospheric research instrument is a high-powered transmitter facility, and it operates in high-frequency ranges. So basically what it does is it temporarily excites a limited area of the ionosphere for scientific study. So imagine like a microwave, because that's what microwaves do. They just
Gotcha.
They get the electrons bumping. So a theory, and this isn't like an underground. It doesn't. Let me put this. It doesn't feel sinister. Like, you know how paranormal kind of lends itself to sinister stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be something that they're proud to say, but it seems like the theory is with HAARP is that while studying the ionosphere and affecting it, manipulating it, since it's such an integral part with radio transmissions and things like that, that they are causing these sounds.
HAARP's never been like, yo, it's us.
Yeah, they didn't own it. They didn't
Okay.
jump on that.
Well, all right then.
I mean, they just claim that it's a sophisticated scientific instrument and study to observe physical processes that occur in the excited region of the ionosphere. They're just trying to study. Nerd! But what if this is causing the sounds? I am not sure. It could be creating unique sounds. Now, there's differences in sounds. You got trumpet sounds,
Mm-hmm.
you have booms, you have rumbling. Who's to say they're all exactly the same thing? You know, it could be a coincidence, but I don't think HAARP was around in the 1850s in Seneca Lake.
I don't think so
New
either.
York.
I like the idea of a spaceship just like honking its horn and like driving away.
Yeah. I don't know. I imagine aliens being more saxophone players, but that could be Star Wars. I don't imagine them playing the trumpet. So that is the breakdown of Skyquakes. How does this land for you? There's so many videos. There's so many different explanations for it. But nothing's concrete. I don't think they're all fake videos.
No, I don't think so. The fact that Birmingham had to tweet out something to say
The National Weather Service?
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I believe that they happen. I don't know. There's so much that happens. I don't know a lot about science. Honestly, I'm getting my degree in education and English, and you have a creative writing degree
And psychology.
and psychology. But like, we're not scientists.
No. If anybody with any semblance of scientific background was listening to this, and I was like, underground caves, noise in the sky, and they're like, you dumbass. I apologize. Write us a letter. Send us a tweet. Everything's at Believing the Bizarre.
But here's the thing: you said it yourself. Scientists have not confirmed anything,
True.
so they don't know.
It's a lot of hypotheses. It's a lot, but it's interesting because, but this is so simple. It's like a simpleton way of explaining it. But the noise is coming from the sky, and the majority of their reasonings come from underground activity, which is
weird.
it's plausible. I mean, I can almost convince myself to understand. Like, the ground underneath us can't make a sound. Maybe, I don't know. It seems like if it's air, because a lot of it's based around gas, vents.
Yeah.
If it's something's happening underground and is causing gas or trapped air to shoot up,
Mm-hmm.
I get that. It just doesn't connect.
Well, here's the thing about sound. I know this. Sound can't happen in space because there's no air molecules to move.
Yeah.
'Cause
No atmosphere, right?
Right. You need atmosphere to hear things.
Yes.
I don't know if that translates to up and out. I don't know. Man, it's all wiggity woogity. I don't understand anything.
The one I enjoy the most is the meteorite theory. The idea that it's the sound of a meteor breaking up in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
That one seems to be the most like the one I can grasp the best. But the fact that nobody sees anything with nobody sees anything with these Skyquakes. It's very bizarre.
That is very strange.
Obviously, we can't conclude what causes it, but let's not look at the cause. Let's look at the fact. Do you believe they exist? Where on our scale do you put the fact that they exist?
100% believable.
I agree. There's too much content out there. There's too many videos, too many personal experiences, too far of a reach.
Yeah.
When you have different nations, different countries talking about the same thing.
15 counties.
15 counties in Alabama.
That's crazy.
Ask the National Weather Service in Birmingham. That'll tell you. They'll be like, #believable.
I know, right?
We should do that now. #believable.
#believable.
Nobody else says that word. Just us.
Branding.
That's right. So that is our episode on Skyquakes. Again, if you guys have any unique stories, any happenstances that happened to you or somebody you know, hit us up by sending us an email to believingthebizarre@gmail.com.
I am Charlie.
I am Tyler. Until next time, join us on our next episode of Believing the Bizarre.